So let me start with indeed our motto. So our aim is to contribute through high quality genetics to solving the global food challenge, and that is something that all breeding companies are aiming at. So we know that through selective breeding we can reduce, for instance, the footprint of animal production. We can improve animal welfare. We can reduce the need for antibiotics. Genetics is really a very powerful tool to improve sustainability of animal protein production. But it comes with a responsibility. It comes with a responsibility to also look after the genetic diversity that is available, and making sure that not only we, but also future generations do have the opportunity to make changes to animal populations as they see fit at that time. And that's where the CODE EFABAR fits in. So that is really to, as I alluded to, animal breeding comes with a responsibility to do things in a responsible manner. And through the CODE EFABAR, we also want to be transparent on that and say, okay, this is what we do. And if people have questions, and people do have questions on how do we do this, then we've provided the answers and to it, and we are more than happy to explain how we want to make that contribution. And in that, CODE EFABAR really helps. Both our customers, so the sector, but also society, looks at us and say, hey, you're doing this, and we are on the one hand proud on what we achieve, but they also question, hey, is this all done in a responsible manner? Do you pay enough attention to animal welfare, biosecurity, biodiversity? And we express in the code how we pay attention to the thing, and I think that comes with our activities, that we need to also be transparent on the way we operate. It's about improving all the characteristics of the animal in a balanced manner.
Yeah.
And for long, for our breeding goal, but breeding goal for also other companies active in this space, includes a large number of traits, because better is not simply better in one characteristics. It's better in everything that is needed for an animal to strive in the environment where they are in. And that comes with that means improving many characteristics in a balanced manner. And the second is about applying technologies, current technologies, and do we maintain sufficient genetic diversity, which is important, as I explained earlier, to be able to not only change populations now, but also in the future. But also technologies in the reproduction space, but also new breeding technologies such as gene editing, which we're currently not applying, but we're certainly looking into it. And we want to be, we are open about what we do in that space, because technologies, they offer new opportunities, but they need to be applied in a responsible manner. So that means internal discussion, but also discussion with stakeholders and their customers, but also society at large is our stakeholders in that. For instance, if you look at laying hens, it means that we not only measure and select on traits like the number of eggs and feed efficiency, but we also pay attention in our selection to health, longevity, how long are birds able to produce, do they keep the feathers? So that's what we want. We want to have birds that throughout their entire laying period are covered by feathers. The quality of the egg. So it's a large range of traits that we measure and take into account in our selections to make sure that not only egg production is improved, but also the other traits like health, quality of the eggs, livability, that they all increased in the desired direction. And that's how we design our program, and that's how we select the animals for the next generation to make sure that we make the improvement in that balanced manner, the right balance in the traits that are important for our customers and for the animal. Well, animal breeding plays an important role in the entire animal production chain, and every jackal in that chain needs to take its responsibility. So that's why it also applies to us, and we have a responsibility when it comes to safeguarding genetic diversity, which is because we are at the beginning of the chain. A lot of these populations are in our hands, and some of them might not be fitting today, but they might be fitting in 5 to 10 years from now, and it's our responsibility to make sure that we still have access to that. So I think every jackal in the chain has got a responsibility when it comes to sustainable, but not at least the animal breeders that are at the start of that chain. I would say it's useful internally, because the code consists of a number of questions, and some of them you say, oh yeah, it's good, and let's discuss how do we work with this. So it helps the internal process, and to say, okay, do we really look at all the aspects that are relevant? Well, and the second is it helps us by expressing to the outside world, hey, we have adopted the voluntary CODE EFABAR, and some of the customers expect that from us, so they specifically ask for it. But others, we present it and say, this is what we do, and it's a starting point for discussion, because I don't think there's any code that will answer all the questions that are relevant, but at least it shows that for us, it's important to do this in a responsible manner. And I would think that the same applies to other companies as well, because animal breeding collectively can play a very significant role in solving the global food challenge in a sustainable manner. But we also need to do that in a responsible manner and be open on what we do. And that's a collective effort of all companies and associations active in our domain. So I would really ask everyone to invest the time to complete all the documentation that is needed and activities that are needed to comply with CODE EFABAR.